What is up, YouTube? Jason from Dropshipping University coming back at you with another video. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about a little experiment that I have going on a brand new eBay store behind the scenes regarding optimization techniques on eBay, okay? Before I get into that, if you guys could take a minute to subscribe to this channel, be really appreciated. I really want to make Wholesale Dropshipping Champions channel the premier, foremost knowledge base for everything wholesale dropshipping. So thank you guys so much for the support that you've already given me. I really do appreciate that. Okay, let's get into super optimization. What is super optimization? You might have heard optimization. You want to have your listings optimized, your title optimized, your description optimized, and in general, there's a consensus in the dropshipping community that optimization techniques help. Okay, that helps drive sales, helps rank your product higher in the Cassini search algorithm, all those things. You want to have a title that is as close to 80 characters as possible, keyword rich, specific keywords that are relevant to your product, long tail keywords, that type of thing. Same with the description. Keyword density is really, really key. Okay, we can all basically agree that optimization is important, but what is super optimization? Super optimization is taking general optimization ideas and taking it to another level. It's basically like optimization on steroids. There's a lot of things when listing an item on eBay that go overlooked. For example, volume pricing, best offer, premier shipping or expensive shipping, priority shipping, 2-day FedEx, 2-day UPS. Those are more premier shipping options because they'll get to your customer in a quick time frame, okay? Markdown manager, promoted listings, subtitles in bold, those are enhancements. Okay, these are all things that often go overlooked. So the real experiment here is what would happen if we created an eBay account that was all the listings that you put up are solely focused on optimization. We're only going to sell products, for example, that have sold over 5 to 10 times in the last 31 days. And we could find that out easily through Zik Analytics. We're only going to sell products that we can compete on, because if there's people who are selling those below fair market value or a price that we can't make money on, then there's no sense in selling that product. So we're going to be hyper specific on the products that we sell based on supply and demand. Okay. Now getting into super optimization, once we've targeted products that fit that mold of high demand and low supply, then we can go and enrich those listings using things like Markdown Manager. And if you guys have ever shopped at Macy's, you know there's this thing called the Macy's effect, which is basically they put the price on a product way higher than it should be, way higher than the average price of that product. And they have a red X or a line through it, and it'll say instead of $100, it'll say today only $59.99. It's creating the perception to the consumer that the product is you're actually getting a deal on it. But in reality, they always have these sales. So it's the Macy's effect. That's basically what we're looking to do with Markdown Manager. We're going to be listing the products way higher than they actually are or what they should be, and then using the Markdown Manager to create the perception in the consumer's brain that the product is on sale and that they're getting a deal and that they should act now before time is up, right? So that's utilizing Markdown Manager in an intelligent fashion. What about best offer? We don't talk about best offer a lot in dropshipping, okay? But when it comes to getting search exposure and getting your listing to the top of search, all of these things add up, and giving the consumer the option to make an offer, well, now the Cassini algorithm says this is customer centric. This seller wants to move the product, and if you can already get a certain amount, let's say that you're listing this product and you know that you have 40% margin or 30% margin, well, let's come down on that. We have some leeway, some wiggle room to come down on that and do some best offer. So even if that person says I'll pay for that product, but I'm going to give you best offer $5 less, well, now we can go and actually sell that product, whereas maybe in the past that person would not have bought that product because they didn't have the option to give you the best offer. Okay, so realistically with best offer, it's just another thing to increase your exposure in search. And that goes for promoted listings too. With a brand new account, you should have no problems with promoted listings. Promoted listings are so, so, so important. If you guys aren't doing promoted listings, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity. eBay has the friendliest and most merchant-focused CPC program. You only pay for promoted listings when the item sells. If you were doing Facebook ads, if you have any experience using Facebook ads or Google AdWords, well, you know that you're going to be paying for every click or every impression based on what model you want to use on those channels. And same for Amazon. If you sell on Amazon, you're paying per click. PPC, pay per click, okay? With eBay, you're only paying when that product sells. So if we have that margin to work with already because we're doing wholesale drop shipping, now we can increase our promoted listings percentage. We can increase it to 10%, 15%, even, go up as high as you possibly can, because more listing impressions, more click-through rate equals more sales, okay? And more sales means higher ranking exposure in eBay's Cassini algorithm. It's really important. Now, I want to touch on a couple more things with this super optimized idea that I came up with. Volume pricing was something that eBay introduced this fall or late summer. Volume pricing, people in this dropshipping space aren't really talking about it that much, but eBay has made it known that if you enable volume pricing on your listings, you're going to be increasing in the search exposure again. So let's put our quantity at 2 or 3 and put volume discounts. So maybe 3%, 5%. As they buy more, we make more anyway. That's how this game works. The more you sell, the more you make, right? And you get some economies of scale because you can, your supplier is going to be able to put that product into one box and you're going to save on shipping. So if you sell 2 or 3, you're actually making more money, so you can come down and give a little bit percentage to the consumer and incentivize them to purchase that product in 2 or 3 quantity, right? Really, really easy. And a lot of people should be talking about this, but they're not. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is premium shipping. I know I already touched on it a little bit, but people forget that a lot of consumers now have that instant gratification a mindset, right? They want that product now, and they're used to that from Amazon Prime. They get that product in 1 or 2 days, sometimes 3 if they live in a remote spot. But a lot of us drop shippers on eBay are just giving them the standard option of 3 to 5 day USPS standard shipping, right? We want to give them as many options as possible. If they have the option to get premium shipping, priority shipping, FedEx, UPS, 2-day ground or whatever, now they have more options and they're more likely to purchase that product because they can get it quicker. That also plays into this whole thing of increased search exposure because eBay sees that you're giving the consumer options. And I'm not saying eat the cost. You can put shipping rate tables into your settings for the listing and give, pass off the expense of shipping, premium shipping onto the buyer. Now, I always tell everybody out here, make sure that you offer free shipping, free standard shipping, just factor it into the cost of the product. Everybody knows that is a huge reason why people buy. They don't want to calculate it, the extra shipping. They don't want to go to checkout and then say, oh, there's an extra $10 shipping. I never would have added it to checkout. It's just make it simple for the consumer. Add that stuff up before you even make the listing, right? Really, really simple. Last thing I wanted to talk about was using suppliers who can ship 1 day, right? Ship in under 1 day. So handling time, right? We're not talking about shipping time. We're not talking about premium shipping. We're talking about handling time. We want to use suppliers that can get the product from their warehouse to the customer as quick as possible. So if we can use this supplier who has a handling time of 1 day or less, it has to be business days. A lot of these suppliers don't work on the weekends. That's okay. eBay doesn't factor that into this whole equation. So if we can use suppliers that only do 1 day or less, now we can become top rated plus. You've probably seen that badge on a lot of eBay listings and it says top rated plus. You get a discount, but the discount is only 10%. The discount's okay. It's not that great, But what really matters besides the discount is your increased search exposure and the likelihood of the customer seeing that badge and associating that with trust. And trust is really important to the consumer, and that's going to lead to more sales. So all of these things combined, what are the effects of that on a eBay store? And that's what I'm really trying to figure out. And I'm going to have all of these things, all my ducks in a row, and have this set up in such a way. But because I really believe it seems like a hypothesis, and it is a hypothesis because I don't have data. There's no real data yet. But I think that this is going to be a huge sales lift. I think this is going to work really well. And I think that if other people decide to do this, that we could get a more broad scope of the validity of this experiment. So if you guys, have a chance to open a new eBay store and run this experiment on the side, that would be awesome. We could all come together in the Facebook group, wholesale dropshipping, and we could talk about this. I think this is going to be a great thought experiment, and I think it's going to work. It makes sense. From a logical standpoint, it makes sense. Not saying eBay is always the most logical place, but when you have all of these things combined, I think you're going to see a huge, huge sales lift. And that's what we're looking for. Everybody out here is looking for new ways to make money and increase the sales that they have on eBay. And I think this is going to be an easy way to do it. So super optimization. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end. If you guys made it this far, I know you guys are devout followers. Thank you so much. If you have a chance, please subscribe to this channel. Take care, everyone.